All right, so we're taking this deep dive thing to a whole new level today.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're not just diving, we're like time traveling into the future.
Time traveling, I like it.
A little bit, right. We're looking at a single date, September 20th, 2024. And someone out there, our listener, wants to know what's going down in the world of sports on that particular Friday.
Interesting. A deep dive into a single day.
Exactly. We've got a list here, a pretty wild list, actually, of predictions for sporting matches happening all over the globe.
Okay, so what's on the agenda?
Football, or soccer, as some might call it.
Right. Football?
From Saudi Arabia to France to even, get this, Ireland. But here's the thing that really caught my eye every single prediction. Home team, win or draw. Every single.
One? That's statistically improbable, I'd say. Not impossible, but definitely unusual. I mean, upsets happen. That's part of what makes sports so exciting. But this many home team favors all at once.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is September 20th some kind of like universal home team advantage day? Or is something else going on? And that's what we're here to figure out, right?
Absolutely. We need to dig deeper. Look the leagues, the teams, maybe even the weather forecasts. Who knows what kind of connections we might find.
Okay, so let's start with, how about Saudi Arabia? We've got the Saudi Pro League match, Al Khalij versus Al Fayha, the prediction, you guessed it, home win or draw.
Not surprising, given how the Saudi Pro League's been shaking things up lately. They're attracting huge names, big money. This match could be a tiny glimpse into a major shift in the balance of power in global football.
It's wild, right? Like, this isn't just a game. It's almost a geopolitical event at this point. Okay, but let's jump over to France for a second. We've got Nice versus Saint-Etienne in Ligue 1, and again, the prediction leans towards the home team.
League One is interesting. Incredible atmosphere, passionate fans. Home advantage, there might be less about statistics and more about that intangible energy of the crowd. You know, that feeling you get when the whole stadium's behind you.
Practically feel the pressure on the visiting team.
Absolutely. It's electric.
Speaking of different vibes, let's hop over to Ireland now. Bray Wanderers versus Kerry in the Irish First Division. And, keeping with the theme, another home straw prediction. I have to admit, when I think Irish football, I'm picturing something a bit cozier than those massive stadiums.
You're not wrong. This is more about local pride, community spirit.
Yeah.
Smaller scale. But that doesn't make it any less significant for the people involved. In fact, you could argue that home advantage in a league like this is even more about heart, about representing where you come from.
I love that. It's not just about who wins or loses, it's about the story behind it, right?
Exactly.
And speaking of stories, there's one more layer to this whole thing that I got to bring up because I thought it was kind of funny.
What's that?
The weather.
The what?
Yeah. See, I noticed in the notes for the Irish match, there's a little weather prediction. Rain. Fair. It just struck me as so specific. Like, of course it might rain in Ireland.
Well, they do call it the Emerald Isle for a reason, right? Lots of green. Got to have the rain to keep it that way.
Right. But it made me think, does the weather actually play a role in all these home draw predictions? I mean, a rain-soaked pitch in Ireland, that might actually benefit the home team who's used to those conditions.
It's a valid point. Home advantage isn't just about the fans. It's about familiarity with the climate, with the pitch itself.
Yeah.
A sunny day in Saudi Arabia versus a downpour in Dublin, that could definitely influence the outcome.
Exactly. It just adds this whole other layer of complexity to these predictions. It's not as simple as just looking at the teams, right?
Exactly. It's about context. We've only got a snapshot of what might happen on September 20th.
So let's bring this all home for our listener. What's the takeaway here? We've traveled from Saudi Arabia to France to Ireland, all on this quest to understand why every single prediction on this date seems to favor the home team.
I think the biggest thing we've learned today is just how interconnected everything is. We might think of sporting events as these isolated incidents, but here we have matches on different continents, all influenced by similar forces. And who knows, maybe there are other events happening on that day, completely unrelated to sports, that are somehow connected to this trend as well.
It's a really interesting thought, isn't it? Like, what if we could zoom out even further and see the whole picture?
Precisely. It makes you realize how much we don't see, how much is happening beneath the surface.
And that's kind of beautiful, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that there's always more to discover.
So, listener, here's a little something to think about. Imagine yourself on September 20th. Where are you? Are you braving the Irish rain, cheering on Bray Wanderers? Or are you maybe somewhere in France soaking up the energy of a Ligue 1 match? And just remember as you're watching that somewhere else in the world, under a completely different sky, another one of these matches is playing out. And we're all connected by it in some way. Who knows? Maybe we'll revisit this on September 21st and see how it all actually turned out.
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, until then, this is your host signing off. See ya.